is up, goblins? I'm Scully the Goblin, and welcome to my Site B sandbox site. I put a lot of work in this, but let's not focus on that. Let's talk. More specifically, let's talk about Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now, I gotta say this right away, I have no insight on what will be in the next game. I have no information about like any potential DLCs that will be in the game, the story, like new islands or hell old islands, that sort of shit. I have no information on that. I have no inside sources. I don't even have sources. But I'm just letting you goblins know now. So this video is going to be basically one-parter. I'm going to probably make another part later on in this week. All really depends how much I'm able to get in it. Tonight, I was trying to make this earlier, but my internet was fucking up. It's now 12 a.m., so I'm going to still make this quick. So, what I want to see in Jurassic World 2. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but I'm going to try to keep it short for now. So, I'm going to start off with basically more diverse maps. That's the reason you're seeing this little redwood-like biome with mountains. Basically, I want to see islands that have more than just tropical jungles. I want to see like forests. I want to see like different types of areas, like swamps, other stuff as well. Oh, I want to see like a new like menu thing for like the mode where you're like landscaping, I guess. Like when you have forest, there should be like you click on it and there's like 4 or 5 different types of forests. Same with grasslands, same with other shit as well. Hell, I would like to actually see a desert-like island. Not only that, I would like to see different versions of the dinosaurs. There's like, I want to see like different versions of the dinosaurs you would find on these islands, or hell, if you made them on the islands. Where did my car get destroyed? It got destroyed right there. Now I'm not done populating the island just yet. With dinosaurs, this is like a Site B. This is something I'm going to be saving for a different like video. This is basically an abandoned black site, like a research site. You got the greenhouse, you got labs, that sort of thing. It's basically a site that's off the books. Now, the next thing I want to talk about besides like different types of dinosaurs, I want to see different versions of the dinosaurs. Now, to be more specific, I'm not talking just like color patterns. Like, I want there to be a new feature that would make it so... Oh, these two are ready. Like, let's say you go into like the things where you mess with the genome. Let's say you're in here, you pick what color you want it to be, but you get to pick like the shape of its head or that. Like, you pick basically what it looks like. It could look like it has like a rough texture or smooth texture or almost a flat texture to its like head and body. That sort of shit. Hell, I would even like to see like new types of dinosaurs, and I would also like to see the dinosaurs that were from this game in the next one, including the ones from the DLCs, like the Spinoraptor, pretty much everything I want to see from the DLCs in the next game. But that's not all. I would like to see a new feature in the game, and that is dinosaur nests. Now you might be wondering, Scully, why are you talking about dinosaur nests? Aren't they all female? Well, yes, but if you remember in the first Jurassic Park movie, they found a way to breed. Like certain frogs, like genomes were able to like switch around, that sort of shit. Basically, they swapped genders. Now, you might be wondering, why would they add like baby dinosaurs into a game? I want to see baby dinosaurs. Problem is, I know they probably wouldn't put them in the base game. They'd probably add them in like a DLC. The nests would just be like for show, like the eggs won't hatch at all. Oh, but the dinosaurs would still protect them, basically. That's what I'm thinking. However, I think in a DLC they'll make it so like there's this person who like gives you jobs and that, and you find a way to actually make it so there's like a male dinosaur in the park, or like you release a male dinosaur. Like let's say you release a male T-Rex next, and you shot like a female T-Rex with a dart that made it go in heat. Basically, the two dinosaurs would actually mate and become like a mated bond. They would have like a symbol thing, with like it's like the crown, like when you have like an alpha for a pack, except it would be a heart. Or basically, they are like a mated pair. Afterwards, you see them like making a nest, like gathering resources. I imagine like seeing a T-Rex actually go near like a tree. You see like its mouth go around the tree, break it off, and like bring it to like a thing. Or they basically find an area and they like just start building their nest. That's that sort of thing. Now, shit, damn power. Now, I did go over here, or I was basically moving dinosaurs around. I wanted to have like comp step for like dinosaurs having nests and basically young. My idea was they use the Spinoraptors as baby like Spinosauruses. But 6 of them sadly died, and these are the only 2 that are left. So the idea is for, well, I already said the idea. But basically, what I imagine is, in the base game for the next one, if they made it so like the dinosaurs were able to have like, I guess, infants, it would be because like one of them was able to change their gender, or kind of like in the first Jurassic Park movie, but sadly, I don't think that would happen unless they, like... Actually, I think it could happen. They would probably put it in a DLC, though. Now, I imagine if they did, like, add that in the DLC, you install the DLC, and you basically completed it, you could, like, have male dinosaurs in your parks. However, this is where I'm going to be pitching here for a second. I think certain male dinosaurs would get attacked by the female dinosaurs right away. If, like, the female dinosaur and the male dinosaur aren't in heat, I even think the male dinosaur would attack the female dinosaur. Hence the reason I think there should be, like, a new item added to the ranger vehicles. Now, when you go into the ranger vehicles, you get options. You can medicate an animal, basically bring its health back up and getting rid of any diseases. You have tranquilizer darts, you have flares. I think there should be a pheromone dart or a pheromone flare. One that you would shoot near the dinosaur that would make it go into heat, basically. Or hell, make it so you have a genome that's in the dinosaur as it's being emitted, so when it comes out of the hatchery, it's already in heat. That way you can get a mated pair. That's all the places. However, I also think that certain dinosaurs, like certain breed of dinosaurs, will actually nest together. Like, I believe Triceratopses would actually nest together with other, like, members of their species, basically guard their nests and that. However, I do believe that if there is baby dinosaurs in the game, I don't think they should be able to defend themselves until they fully grow up. Now, that makes me think, however, one thing. Should the baby dinosaurs be, like, basically tiny, kind of like the size of the goats from the feeders, I guess, but a bit bigger. And you basically watch them grow up and all that stuff. I actually think that would actually be pretty cool to see. However, I do think there is some other stuff that should be added in the game, but I'm going to focus on this for right now. Oh, I think that, like, let's say you have a pack of raptors. So the pack is full, there's no room for other members. Let's say you got a hold of, like, the dart or the flare, and you basically shot it at the pheromone at, like, a pack of female raptors. And you hatched out a male raptor, and it just came out of the hatchery, aka the lab, fresh. It makes me wonder one thing. Would the raptors fight over him? Would the raptors basically indoctrinate him into the pack and basically become like a mated pair with that raptor? Or would the alpha of the pack become mated with that raptor, and the other raptors won't attack them. Now, I do think that, like, there should be, like, a second rank to Alpha. Like, you see, like, a crown for Alpha. I think there should be, like, a... Like, I think like, there should be, like, a large crown on the Alpha. Like, it should be, like, bigger than this. And I guess the Beta, is that the word for the second in command? Should have, like, a tiny crown like this. Now, I do believe if, like, let's say that the Alpha is actually a mated pawn with the Beta. The Beta would have like a half heart next to the crown. Same with the Alpha. Like it would be like a half heart, half crown. Same with like other like animals and that. However, I do believe that once a dinosaur becomes a mated pair, they would go and look for nesting grounds. Now, me personally, if I was like a herbivore, I would look for an area that's away from like carnivores. Say, up here, like around here. And I imagine like you, the player, would have to actually make an area where like dinosaurs would actually want to nest at. Now, when a dinosaur is like pregnant and looking to make a nest and lay eggs, it would have like an icon above it. And it will roam around until it finds like a certain area. Now I imagine the icon would be glowing red until it finds a suitable area. Once then, the icon glows green. And then the dinosaur starts making the nest, with its either mated pair or on its own. If the mated pair gets killed, such as like let's say the father got killed, well, the mother would be looking after the young on its own. Now let's say a velociraptor or like a pack of velociraptors that were all mated together. One of the raptors died. The other raptors would still take care of the young, I believe. Same with spinoraptors and maybe even the Indoraptor, depending on what type of genome you have in it. Man, I need to get a bottle of water. But that brings me to another thing. I believe the Indoraptor and the Indominus Rex, including some of the other hybrids, should be in the game and should also be able to mate. Now, I believe for the Indoraptors and the Indominus Rex, you would have to actually alter their genome. Make it so they have... what was the thing in it again? Go up. There we go. Now, I believe you would have to increase their social to basically groups, like this type of group, for that type of stuff to work. Basically, I think that they should like be able to breed, they should be able to have like miniature dinosaurs. However, I think that the Indoraptors and the Indominus Rexes would act differently. Now, in the movie, they try to kill right away. However, I think there should be a genome that alters, like, their brain activity. Makes it so that they won't, like, kill every dinosaur on sight, like every weaker dinosaur. Or basically make them only kill those dinosaurs when they're hungry or when they're, like, overwhelmed or highly stressed, I guess. That guy going. Now, I also think that there should be new, like, mechanics and buildings added in. Now, I'm will be leaving the egg thing for right now. I'll probably circle back to it in a little bit, or mention it in a future video, because I am trying to keep this one short. Now, I think there should be a new building added in, with, like, some new abilities to the building. Now, damn feeders. Alright, which one? Oh.
Resupply request acknowledged.
So, we have the Ranger, like, there's a gate right there. Oh, it's hidden in the trees, I think. Yep, that helps. So we have these ranger like stations, and then we have like these security stations with like the helicopters and that. I came up with an idea for, I guess you can call it two like new like buildings and that, and including two new like well, you know how you have like the NPCs, those like park residents who walk around, like the guests, I guess, including scientists and security staff. Well, these new buildings would add in a new type of person that walks around. The first one is the game warden. Now, a game warden is basically like the ranger team, except here's the difference. Ranger teams, you always have to assign them to like a task or that. With a game warden, and if you assign a game warden station to the ranger team, they'll automatically go in and fix repairs on like walls or that. Now, I imagine like a game warden and station, you would only have like the option to select like two like tasks or that for them, unless you upgraded like a ranger station or like the helicopter station. Now I imagine like the two tasks, you could have them like selected this. Basically it takes care of the need for you to have like a certain dinosaur tranked or that, if it escapes the walls or if it's rampaging for the park. Now a game warden station, you would actually see like their own jeeps. Now unlike the normal like ranger stations and the helicopters and that, they will actually go on patrols outside of walls and that to make sure there's basically no trouble, I guess. Like no dinosaurs like attacking the walls, no escapees, that sort of thing. Now that does add in like a couple of questions. How would these guys fully work with other like buildings and that? Well, game wardens would only work with ranger stations and these other stations. And they basically send out like the teams that basically it makes it so you don't always have to automatically like have these guys go out or take control all the time. They'll even have them go and fix like electric buildings and that. Now this moves on to the next idea for like a building. I should actually use like a reference for like the game warden thing. Okay, the next building is the handler building. Now, if you don't know what handler means, it's basically like a term for like somebody who handles like an animal or sometimes even people. I felt like there was a little sneeze there in my throat. Got dry at the same time. Shit. Alright. So, basically a handler is somebody who handles animals and that. Now, you might be wondering, Scully, why would we need a handler? Well, that brings me on to like another point of mine. I think the dinosaurs, if they were able to build nests and have kids in that, I believe handlers could be set to a certain pen. Now, let's say you complete like a fence wall around like a certain area. Like, let's say you complete a fence wall in like a circle like this, like around here. And there was a nest in there, there's a dinosaur in there. Or let's say the dinosaur doesn't have like a handler, and you have a ranger team go in there to try to refill the feeder. The dinosaur would become aggressive and attack you. Now, let's say you have a handler and you assign them to like one of these labs that are connected to the pen. They would automatically be assigned to the type of dinosaur that's in the pen, or dinosaurs. There's basically handlers. You can actually have like a handler unit. It's like a miniature station where it's like a, imagine like, I believe his character name was Owen Brady in like the first Jurassic World movie, how he has like that trailer, including like that giant raptor pen, I guess. I imagine handlers would basically be in like these miniature like huts or that. They would live right inside like the dinosaur pen or even in it. Like, you can probably place it in it. Now, unlike other buildings, you wouldn't need to make a pathway to it or make it so they have electricity. It would just be basically like a cabin or something. You put like a cabin in that. Handlers would basically have more trust from the animals. because the animals would see them as their parents because they handled them from birth. And they would be able to get near the nest. Now, you could have the handlers basically destroy the nests, remove the nests, bring the eggs into like the hatchery and hatch them yourselves, or hell, even just make sure the eggs are healthy and taken care of by the parents. Now, I imagine handlers would only work for like certain dinosaurs and that. However, I believe if you signed a handler to like a raptor pen, and the handler would be basically different. Like a handler wouldn't just walk right out. They would basically drive out to the raptor pen in a jeep. Now I imagine the jeep would be armored out, unlike the Ranger jeeps over here. Or like I imagine like a truck driving in, it's like armored out. Oh, the person's able to get out near the thing and that. Now I imagine like the raptors would have like a bit of trust towards the handler, but not enough to let them get near the nest. Although I see that probably changing in a DLC maybe in the future. Now, there was one other like build-in that would add like a new like thing to the game. What was it? What was it? What was it? No, it wasn't the hatchery. It was a Mosasaurus pen. It's like, well, Mosasaurus tank. It's like a... Now, you've seen the Jurassic World movie. If you haven't, go watch that. I'll pretty much wait. This video will probably be up sometime tomorrow. Or today, depending on what time it gets posted. Basically, a Mosasaurus tank of sorts. It's like a... I guess it could be an in-ground tank. It basically has Mosasauruses in that, and you would attach like a customized like hatchery to it. Basically, it will let out like Mosasauruses and that. You can alter their DNA, yada yada yada. But that's basically it for that idea. I didn't think that went through that much. However, there is something else I want to see in the next game. What was it? It was a really important one. Oh yeah, new types of dinosaurs, like hybrid dinosaurs, including like dinosaurs that weren't in any of the movies or any of the games, that sort of thing. And I would like to see a hybrid dinosaur, or like I would like to see basically a Dilophosaurus combined with, oh man, I don't remember the name of it. Let's see, where is it? Oh, there it is. Baryonyx. This dinosaur right here. I'd like to see Dilophosaurus combined with that. I imagine, like, if you combined into Dilophosaurus with that, you would get, like, two outcomes. One, you get, like, a Baryonyx, like, head with, like, the stuff that flaps open and, like, it's able to spit like a Dilophosaurus. However, it's able to fish. Now, I could also imagine, like, it being, like, giant, or hell, it could be Dilophosaurus size, and it could be like having like the head of like a... I'm having trouble describing it, but basically you get what I mean. I want to see like different types of hybrid dinosaurs. Hell, I would actually like to see like the player character, even, well, not character, the player, be able to pick the dinosaurs he wants to combine and see if they match or that. Basically create your own hybrids. I know that probably won't happen, but hey, I wish to see it. I didn't say it was in the game. Now, let's circle back to the nests real quick, and like the pheromone. I believe you would have to research the pheromone, and I do believe that if you were to, say, get an Indominus Rex to breed with a male Indominus Rex, I believe you would get a call from a certain scientist who made the Indominus Rex. Now, I don't know if the call would be happy, angry, or just impressed and confused. I really don't know. Oh, basically, I'm thinking that there will be a new DLC for that game that involves, like, Doctor Wu again. throat's fucking dry. Now, what was the other things I wanted to see? I mentioned during the beginning that I wanted to see new biomes, I wanted to see new types of dinosaurs. Oh yeah, I would like to see different breeds of dinosaurs, like different breeds of like the same species of dinosaurs. Like I would like to see like a raptor species that has like fur, another one that has feathers, or hell, one that doesn't have scales but has like a hide like some has hide, and, like on his back and that, kind of like an alligator, or have like the regular species of raptors. Where is the T-Rex? Oh, there's one. Now, I would like to let you goblins know I did turn off like several features that make the T-Rexes aggressive. This Rex is like female. Where's the other one? Here's the male. Finally. Now, I would also like to see different like versions of the hybrids. Now, some of you might be wondering, Scully, why would you want to see different versions of the hybrids? Ah, fuck, I forgot to fix one thing for these guys. Son of a bitch. Alright. Explain a lot.
No problem.
Now, I would like to see different like breeds of the dinosaurs and that, and I would like to see like different looks for them. And like I could imagine like seeing a raptor covered in feathers running around. I could imagine like seeing a T-Rex with fur on them. Now, you might be wondering, Scully, why do you want to see dinosaurs with fur and feathers? Well, there's been speculation that some dinosaurs have fur and some had feathers, or some have scales and some had like a tough hide in that. And I would actually like to see different versions of that. You need to get a Stegotops in here as well. Where? Did I go past him? Yes, I did. Now, I could imagine what a lot of the baby dinosaurs would look like, what the game wardens would look like, what the handlers would look like. Hell, I even came up with an idea for a DLC that I think I might save for the next video. Oh, the idea was to add in like, I guess, 4 or even 2 new divisions that you would have to actually keep happy. They give you contracts and that. My idea was to also make it so like there was a DLC that had Owen Brady, I believe his name was, is like the last DLC we had like Claire Sanctuary. The future DLC for the next game I hope is one that involves Owen Brady and raptors, basically trying to make different versions of raptors. Whereas I believe like a certain division head would have like a helping hand, and in the next DLC basically would be about that division head. Now, I'll explain that more in another video, but basically I hope to see, like, that's the problem right there. Fuck. Alright, hold on, just so I'll fix this real quick. Oh no, it didn't break in. I thought it did for a moment. Okay. Now, I'm gonna circle back to, like, the dinosaurs, like, them making nests and that. I imagine, like, when a dinosaur is a mated pair, some of them would, like, one of them would go out and, like, gather materials for a nest. One of them would stay in the nesting area until, like, the nest was built, and then they would, like, lay eggs. However, if the other mate is dead, I imagine they would gather as many resources as they can, and basically the nest would not be like a complete nest. And it would be vulnerable for different predators and that. Now, one dinosaur I want to see is a dinosaur that was speculated for a long time to, well, I don't know if it was speculated or not.
Asset in
I don't know,
transit.
like, a lot of dinosaurs that well. Basically, a dinosaur that would steal eggs. I don't remember the name of it. It's like an egg-stealing dinosaur. I would actually like to see that dinosaur. Of course.
Setting
Fix
additional
that.
task.
Now, I would like to see like dinosaurs like scout out different areas. Like depending on the type of dinosaur. Like let's say raptors would actually scout out an area that has like a good amount of forest area. Like say that there's like forest area like around here, but let's say there's an open end, there's water, and there's a good food source nearby. Yeah, I imagine raptors would come down here, or the alpha raptor would make a nest near the tree, and another group of raptors would make nests over here, and I imagine there would be like bushes and that around here. Basically, they would make their nests hidden in that. Now, I imagine that when the raptors make their nests, they would go out and hunt in parties, and I imagine they would leave either 4 or even 2 raptors back at the nest. Yes. And when a predator comes too close, or even a ranger team, they would make the classic noise for calling for help from Jurassic Park 3, I believe it was. I don't remember hearing it in number 1 or 2, but basically they would call for help, and the pack, if they're close by, would run back. And basically abandon like their hunt and that, and come back and kill like whoever's like in the nest area. Same with like some other dinosaurs. I imagine like T-Rexes would leave their young at the nest and go hunting, kind of like in Jurassic Park 2. However, I remember watching a documentary thing that said like there's a dinosaur that actually hunts down T-Rexes by basically smelling their urine and going to nests and trying to kill the T-Rexes. I imagine there would be like a predator like that that you could add in that would actually escape whenever it smelled like a T-Rex and try to go after the offspring. Now, I imagine like here's the thing. I imagine like certain dinosaurs, like certain carnivores, won't actually chase after the dinosaur that's trying to kill their young. I imagine they would enter a fighting stance and try to put themselves between them and their young, and would then guard their young from like the carnivore or hell, even the ranger team. Basically try to make it so that you are unable to actually get to them. And if you're unable to get to him, or the carnivore is unable to get to him, the carnivore will either give up and run away, or try to actually get the young, only to end up getting killed by the mama or dada. So the mom and dad. Now, I imagine like there's different areas where dinosaurs can make nests. I imagine like Spinosauruses would make their nests in these swamps. I imagine they would build their nests right here. And I imagine until they got to, I say right around their stomach area here, then they would be drove out of the nest. And they would have to find their own areas, like territory in that. Now, I imagine there would be a genome that you could actually give like the dinosaurs, like make it so they have a gene that makes it so they lay like a lot of eggs, and the eggs would hatch a lot. Like, let's say that the T-Rex X would lay like 4 eggs and only 2 would hatch. If you give them like another genome, it would make it so the eggs would all hatch. Or you could give them one that makes it so they lay more eggs and they all have potential to hatch, basically. Stutter my words, I apologize. But I do imagine there's like gonna be loads of stuff added into the games. Now let's talk about islands before we end the video. We're gonna talk about islands and some other stuff. So we have like starter islands and that. I imagine like the next game would have like 2 options. They could either find like new islands to basically base at that are nearby, or maybe even make it so you return to the same islands. But instead of these parks, like the parks you went on, you would have like parks here, 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 or here. And you would unlock the older parks if you got like 4 stars on those islands. When you get 3 stars, you would move on to the next islands in that. Now, I imagine you also have Sanctuary, including like I'm not even able to pronounce its name, in the Sandbox Island. Now, I imagine you would also have Site B islands. Now, Site B islands wouldn't actually be on these islands. Well, that's not true. I imagine a Site B island would be this island. Like, let's say in the next game, some of your parks actually filled, and there's only 2 working parks. And you basically go to the other side of the island where the other park is to basically start up a new park. Or let's say that you're playing as like a new predecessor to like the let's say you're just like a different person who's making a new parks, even though you made the other parks. Now, I should get into like Site Bs. Site Bs would basically be almost like sandbox areas, except Site Bs, if they're on the same like island or that, you would be able to take like money from your park and put it towards like making an ecosystem of like dinosaurs and trying to make it so that they, I guess, get along in that, like make it so it's like a nice ecosystem in that. Throat's getting dry as shit. Now, I do imagine, like, let's say that you go to another park, you're having trouble with like funding that, you mess up big time and you lose a lot of money, but you don't want to like reload a save. I imagine you go into like the menu and there would be like 2 new boxes. One where you can contact like your other island and basically you get help from the division that has the most highest like popularity with you, and they would basically send you money. Or you could basically contact, I don't remember his name, he's always sarcastic and he always shows up to take your money. Basically, you get help from those guys and they loan you money. However, I imagine you have to pay it back during a certain time. Or perhaps you can actually send some of your money from your park to that island, including prepare some dinosaurs for transportation. Like, let's say you pick up a dinosaur, you have the option to sell it, that's triangle. You have an option to loan it, that would be square, basically loan it to another park, or until it gets off its feet, once then you send it back. That's the option I think you could use for like sending a dinosaur out in that. Now, another feature I would like to see the dinosaurs have is migrating. Basically, they would have an urge to actually migrate, meaning that some of them would actually want to escape their cells. However, if you have like a massive enclosure, like let's say you build like a wall all the way to here, down to here, and then right to here, and they're on this side, like the dinosaurs, they would migrate over to here, or then when they get the urge to migrate again, they migrate here and then here. Like, let's say you have like loads of food there, loads of water here, including like food and water here. They basically keep migrating to those areas in the pen instead of trying to escape. At least that's my opinion. Now, I do imagine that there'll be like different types of dinosaurs that would always like group up, and then there's some that will fight for territory in that. And I did mention that I hope to actually see like DLC content in the future, and I do hope to see like dinosaurs like either breeding in that in the base game, and being able to like, have offspring, or at least just adding it in as a DLC in that. I do hope to see like different versions of the dinosaurs in that. However, I would like to actually see endgame events for basically the islands. Now you might be wondering, what do you mean endgame events? Like, let's say you got an island up to 3 stars, and then you end up unlocking your other island. Now, this is where things will get interesting. If that other like park you made fails and the dinosaurs like escape, you basically see like I guess it's an end cutscene. Like, you see the dinosaurs all escaping in that. And now some of the cutscenes would differ and depend on like the dinosaurs you have and the genomes they base. Pardon me. Let's say you researched like an ability to make it so there's male dinosaurs in that. Let's say that like the park is taken over by them and they basically escape in that, and into like the wilds in that. You would see like a dinosaur run by, and then it would like cut like right by like an egg, and then the camera would zoom in on the egg, and then the egg cracks, and it basically you see like a dinosaur's eye looking out of that. Now I imagine like if let's say it's on like a, let's say you have two parks on this island. You have like the new park here, and then you have this park. Let's say when this park fails, if you manage to move over to the next island, you got it started up, and you went back to that island, and you made it so your original park failed. The island, instead of it being like a park anymore, would be declared basically a nature preserve. And basically a massive dinosaur would pop up it, but instead of it being a park, it would be a Site B, or even a black site. Basically, you could choose what you want it to be. Now, a black site is basically a site where you make new dinosaurs in that. Now, a Site B is more of a nature preserve where instead of you caging the dinosaurs, you would have like a certain spot where you can build in that, and you wouldn't be allowed to build like any main buildings outside of a certain zone. That's where like a new type of build setting comes in. And I kind of mentioned this for like the handlers. Basically, you would be able to build like certain like buildings, like I guess like what was that thing called in Jurassic Park 2? The thing where they're in like a cage in the tree. I imagine you could build one of those in like certain areas, including build like cameras and that, and that would make it so you get more money for the site, being able to build more stuff. However, I imagine you would see like the dinosaurs that you made from both sides of the park convened in one area. Basically, the entire island become like a massive map, and you basically see the dinosaurs from all areas migrating in different ways, making nests. Basically, it's like one giant nature preserve that you can watch and interact with. If I imagine you could also make like new dinosaurs, but it would be considered like against the law in the thing, and some of the other divisions would warn you about that. Now, I imagine this could go along for everything, and I imagine there'd be like 2 or 3 types of games over. Like, let's say that at like all of your parks failed and became Site Bs. Basically, you get like a ending where they give up on trying to make like Jurassic Worlds, and they make it so the islands are considered like nature preserves and that. Or you make it so they're all parks, and basically you become like one of the well-known like park builders or that. Or hell, you make it so like, let's say that 3 of the islands like end up becoming Site Bs and the other 2 actually stay parks. Basically, you get like a neutral like ending in that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for part 1 of this little talk video. In the next part, I plan on talking more about the DLC ideas I came up with, including the 3 new characters I actually came up with myself that would be involved in the divisions and in the DLCs. And that is pretty much it. Oh, I did forget one thing. In my last video, I mentioned the name of the game that I would be playing. Well, not in that video, but in this video I was going to mention it. And that video game is Shadow of Mordor. That's right. I am going to be playing Shadow of Mordor first thing when I get up. Well, not first thing. I'm going to make some peanut butter on toast, probably have iced tea, and just watch some TV for a bit. But anyways, goblins. If you goblins like the ideas, then hit the like button. Hell, leave suggestions down in the comments below of what you would love to see in the next Jurassic World game. Comment down below what dinosaurs you would love to see. Hell, what dinosaurs you would actually combine together. And what type of environments you would like to see on the new islands. Me personally, I would like to see a forest-like island that has like trees like this, and mountain areas, even swamps, and like other like biomes, I guess. Not just jungle, like forest areas and other stuff. But anyways, goblins, to my fellow goblins out there, may your pockets be full of gold, may your loot be plentiful, and may you stay safe out there, and may you always have villages to loot and plunder. And if you aren't, subscribe to the channel. Really helps out your goblin tribe mates. It's a lot, including clan mates. And that's pretty much it. I'm Scully the Goblin. This was my little talk about what I want to see in the next game. I'll be making a part 2 soon, and I'm gonna log off because it's 12 something at night, and I am tired, and I bet my family members are waking up hearing me talk. So peace out and goodbye. Like and subscribe, I mean it.